Hey, I'm Abhijit from India. Welcome to another video brought to you by Linköping University. Every time we travel, we experience many new things. Especially when we shift to a new place, we go through many cultural shocks as well. Don't we then wish if we knew few of these things earlier? Don't worry, coming to Linköping won't be the same. In this video, I'll tell you 7 things I wish I knew before coming to Linköping University. Let's get started. Number 1. Everyone speaks English. Whenever we think of studying in Europe, the first thing that comes to our mind is the language barrier. I was very scared initially to think that I will not be able to talk to people or I'll have to survive on my sign language skills. Amidst all this hassle of resident permit and others, I started to learn Swedish through Duolingo back in India. But when I first arrived here, I was super amazed to see how international Sweden is. Almost everyone speaks English. In fact, English is the business language for most of the company here, which means that you may not even need Swedish to work here. However, learning a new language is always fun and can be very useful in certain scenarios like shopping at supermarket, making Swedish friends, or work part-time. If you wish to learn Swedish, you can do it through the course provided by Linköping University. You can also learn through SFI, that is Swedish for immigrants, or Duolingo is also a very good option. Number 2. Self-study greater than classroom lectures. Teaching here is very different than what I was used to. The number of lectures that are given here are very few compared to my previous university. So more time is given to students to do their self-study than just attending the lectures. And this is done via numerous assignments with continuous deadlines. The group study is also very well promoted here, where we need to work in pairs or even larger groups for most of our assignments. Frankly speaking, it was a bit difficult for me initially as I was used to attending lectures my entire day. But with time, I got along and I really appreciate this form of education. Number 3. July is a slower month. Sweden, being one of the most beautiful countries, observes almost 6 months of winter with not so much of sunlight. So, summer is very well celebrated here. People working full-time in Sweden are allowed to take 25 days of paid leave every year. And July, being the warmest month of the year, employees take leaves during this period. So generally, the services will be the slowest in this month. On a personal recommendation, if you need a residence permit to stay in Sweden, it is recommended to apply before June in order to get your residence permit process application faster. Number 4. Pub in campus. Korolen is the union house at Campus Valla, which was built in 1987. It is also the heart of student social life at Campus Valla. In the daytime, you will find cafes, study spaces, and food services. Many student associations and unions have their offices at Korolen. So student associations also call Korolen as their home. In the evenings and in the nights, the life is plenty at Korolen. Pubs, meetings, dinner sittings, and parties go on repeat. The most traditional student party at Korolen is called Kraval, which happens once or twice every week at Korolen. Number 5. Swedes are informal with names. Grown up in India, where we don't call anyone elder to us with their names, it was a big cultural shock for me to call professor with their first name. No sir, no mister, no professor, just first name. Yes, you heard me correct. Your doctor, your university professor, your economic advisor, they will all address you by your first name and expect you to do the same in the conversation. This is pretty much standard in Sweden regardless of your job titles. I felt very uncomfortable initially to ask doubts to professor or to send an email, but it became okay with time. Number 6. Don't bring too much of cash. The use of cash here is very limited. Most of the shops and cafes don't even accept cash, and it is very common to find the sign card only or cash free. However, in the first few months, you may need some cash. So I would recommend to bring some cash at least, but not a lot. You will need the cash in order to do the second-hand shopping because you won't have the bank accounts then. On the second note, second-hand shopping is very popular here and very famous among students. I wasn't aware of this cashless community here, so I brought a good amount of cash which was hard to get rid of. In case you are also left with some cash and you don't have any bank account till then, you can use it in the supermarkets at least. Number 7. Be prepared to enjoy Fika. A Fika is a very Swedish custom which basically means to take a break from your activity to take a cup of coffee or tea or maybe eat something sweet. Fika is the most common word spoken in Sweden. The word fika is said to be originated as the reversal of the word kaffe, which means coffee in Swedish. Most Swedes will enjoy at least one fika a day as an opportunity to bond. Swedish fika is a warm, kind and lovely way of bringing people together. So now if you hear the word fika, don't get surprised, just socialize. So I hope you enjoyed this video. See you at Linköping University. Hej då, hej då!